Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Well, welcome to the channel for most of you guys. Now, for you guys that are familiar with the channel, you guys know me for my collection of motorcycles. Some of you guys know me for my Super Beast. But for you guys that are new to the channel, you're here for one reason and one reason only. And that is because you have a 2021 Ford F-150 and you've been looking for tow mirrors and you can't find them. And I have been doing the same thing. I've been scouring the internet to try to figure out how to get tow mirrors to fit on my F-150. And, well, I figured it out, you guys. That's right, we have tow mirrors successfully installed on the F-150. And I'm gonna walk you guys through step by step because, as you guys know, the crappy mirrors that come on these mirrors are horrible for towing. And Ford hasn't released a part number for the F-150 2021 model for the tow mirrors, but we figured it out. So I'm going to walk you guys step by step on how to get these things installed onto your F-150 with part numbers and everything you'll need. Now, I will tell you, this is not going to be a direct bolt-on. There is some minor modifications. That's it. It's really not that hard. But I'm going to walk you guys through all of that. Make sure you guys can understand a clean install and get these F-150 mirrors mounted. Now, I have a XL STX, and it has power mirrors and defrost. Now, the mirrors that I was able to find is power mirrors, defrost with the blinker and the puddle light. I've yet been able to figure out how to turn the blinkers on and the puddle lights, but I really don't care. They're manual fold-in, they're manual pull-out, but they do have different versions of these. So if you guys have a platinum and you guys are looking to put the tow mirrors on, there are platinum mirrors that have all of the bells and whistles in it, but these are just the basic mirrors. So I'm gonna walk you guys through how to remove the stock mirror and how to install the new tow mirror. And like I said, we've got it over here, and what a huge difference it's made. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing looked at on the driver's side, kind of show you what I've done. I've got to do a few minor modifications on that side, and then we're going to walk through a full install on the passenger side and get you guys a very nice clean install video on how to install your tow mirrors on your 2021 F-150. So let's get into it. All right, first I'm going to show you guys the install and basically how it looks and what I've done and the modifications I had to make minorly. Now, right now, we've taken our backing plate off the back, which exposed 2 bolts and 2 nuts here, or 2 nuts and 2 bolts, excuse me, and then the main plug. Now, the plugs that you're going to get I think this is like a 32 plug to an 8 plug adapter. For the 2021s, you don't need that because it plugs straight into the mirror, so you don't need that. So real quick, I'm going to tell you guys the modifications that we had to do was right here, and you'll see on that trim, I'm kind of bummed about it, but I rubbed it off. I'm not gonna cry too much about it, but we had to trim this down a little bit. And you see, it fits perfect up here. It fits all the way down here. But down on the bottom, we've got a little bit of a gap, nothing too major. You wouldn't probably even notice it. And the biggest thing is you're gonna have a gap right here, which is probably me sanding that out just a little bit too much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull this mirror off to show you the exposed. And then we're gonna grind this just a teeny bit more down here, and then we'll get the full install over there. All right, so we're gonna yank this mirror off real quick, and I'll show you guys the quick modification that I did. Now, it would be best if you guys roll down the window, and that way you've got access to be able to hold the mirror and pull out. There's 2 bolts you'll see here, and then there's 2 nuts, and then the plug, so make sure you've got that all taken care of. And once those are out, you'll notice that the mirror just basically slides out. You'll see I don't have the gasket on this because I was still test fitting it. So let's go ahead and set this over with the other ones, and we'll talk about the modifications that we did over here. All right, so you can see we have the driver's side mirrors and the passenger side. This has been untouched over here, and this is the one that I've had to trim down. So if you look at the height difference on this one here compared to this one, you'll see this is the culprit. This is where you're gonna have your issue. That's the only issue that I was able to find. So what I've done is you'll see that there's an inner piece of plastic and an outer piece of plastic. You are going to need to grind both of those down, okay? So you'll see here in the close-up, I've ground both of those down. And you'll see over here, actually, this one doesn't have that big heavy piece of plastic, so that's a little bit crazy. So this is gonna be a little bit easier to grind down. But yeah, pretty simple, pretty simple. So I'm gonna grind this down just a teeny bit more and then get it completely fitted, and then we'll walk through the complete replacement on this side. All right, so that trim went really well. The last thing I'm doing is this is the seal. We're gonna have to trim out just a little piece. I noticed that this interferes just a little bit. So we're not gonna take too much off. We just wanna get just enough to kind of get past that little area. So you're gonna kind of see I'm just trimming off that little piece. That's about what I took off by grinding it. So we're just gonna kind of take that off so that fits. Everything else fits almost perfect. A little bit on the bottom, but we're gonna make sure we keep that seal on the bottom. But let's get this thing tested in and mounted and good to go, and we'll go to the passenger side. All right, so I'm gonna call that a success. It absolutely fits perfect. I love it, it's great. So let's go ahead and get the dismount of the passenger side, show you guys how to take everything apart, get the mirror out, and then we're gonna walk through a quick grinding of this little spot down here on the bottom. I think it'll be a lot less time, and then get it mounted back up and show you a final view. I would probably say this is gonna be a total of, give yourself an hour, but I would say you guys can probably knock this out in 30 minutes. All right, so first thing, you're gonna probably just need an impact gun or a screwdriver gun. You can use a socket and a 10mm. I kind of wish Ford would have just kept this thing American. Got an American flag right here, but I get why we've changed the metric sizing. But so the front cover right here, just basically grab it, pull it off, which is gonna be basically 2 clips down here, a clip and a clip. And then that's gonna expose your plug, which you're just gonna go ahead and immediately unplug. And then you're gonna notice that that's held there. You've got your nut, and bolt, and that's it. So I'm gonna swap the camera view around so you guys, I'm gonna get in your way real quick, but super easy. Make sure your window's down so you can grab the mirror, pull the mirror out. All right, so I would remove the back first, the 2 bolts first. 1, 2, and then move to the nuts, do the bottom. 1, grab the mirror, please grab the mirror. And number 2, and we are free to grab the mirror and pull it straight out. Now you're gonna have the rubber seal here, which this is basically, this seal cover comes off. So we want to make sure that this comes out in addition to, and something just fell, so I'm going to look. I think it was just a little washer right here. And so let's go ahead and get the mirror ground down, mounted, and I'll give you my little tips and tricks, and we'll be ready to roll. All right, so first thing you're going to do with these mirrors is grab a little pair of pliers, and this little silver tab here, this is the top tab, you're going to want to crimp this down. You'll notice on these, the tab is quite small and narrow. You have a hard time getting that thing in. So you're gonna crimp that thing down so it's almost flat. That's gonna be your first trick, okay? Now, we're gonna flip these around and we're working on this little area right here, okay? Now, I'm not gonna take too much off of this side right here because I noticed I took too much off on the other side. I was kind of working this area in addition. The problem is this part right here, getting that more of a straighter angle. This seems to be okay, but as it goes down, the angle's a little bit too small. So I'm gonna use a drill with my Dremel bit to kind of take it down heavily first, and then I'll use the Dremel tool to kind of finish it. That way we can make it smooth and nice and straight. So let's go ahead and start working this out. So you guys can see that I'm just starting and I'm taking this area out right there. So just continue to get a nice surface out, and then every once in a while go over to the truck, mount it, take it out. And what I did do, let's pan around here, let's see if you can see the blue tape. The blue tape is that area that I kind of destroyed with rubbing this in and out. Put a piece of blue tape there, it'll be nice and easy. Kind of just keeps it from rubbing on that rubber piece, that trim piece. So we'll continue to grind this down, and once it slides in, we're good to go. All right, so this side, we got to work this end, is the end that we're working right here. You can see I'm kind of below there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this at more of an angle and try to get it to slide in. So so we've done the major cut by that. I like to use the Dremel tool. If you guys notice, I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Don't cut too much first. You can always cut more off, right? Can't cut any less. So you can see it's a little rough because we've obviously used a drill. We didn't do precise, but you can see we've cut off quite a bit on this side. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Dremel tool to be able to flatten that out and make that line nice and straight. It's a little bumpy, right? But we'll be able to get that thing nice and straight. Good to go. So if you just take your Dremel tool and run it kind of quick across it, it takes all those high spots off, and then it leaves you with a nice flat kind of surface because you're running along the same kind of pressure. So let's go ahead and flip this over, and let's see kind of the final fit. Now you see I've got the blue tape on there to protect me, and we'll slide this in. Everything lines up almost perfect. Something's fighting me on the bottom. On this side, I think this peg right here, we're not getting in the hole correct. But sure enough, you can see that it's kind of rubbing. So we're gonna probably hack this peg off. Knock it off. I don't know. Let's try it one more time. It's gonna fit now though. Just knock the peg off. Because now it fits, baby. It's so funny how we get excited over the little things, you guys. Yeah, so I think we had to go more on this side. I think we ground a little bit more on this side. Again, leave this little bit alone, round it into it, but the issue is here. So you're gonna start on this end, and then you'll notice that you gotta get into the middle, and then let's grab our little cushion, and you can see we've gotta trim that down. So actually you can see how much we trimmed down. So we're gonna trim that cushion just a teeny bit right there, and then let's get it mounted up. Hey everyone, welcome back. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and stuff our little cushion inside here first. That way it's gonna not interfere with our mounting as much. Grab our mirror, and we're gonna slide it in. All right, so we're not gonna torque on these too much with the screwdriver. Let's hand torque them down. Let's not snap these bolts, but you guys can see it's nice and stable. You know, now that these are on, God, I took too much off on this side, but it's all right. I think that angling, I couldn't get it to angle right because that plug was on there. So if you guys have made it this far, hopefully you guys aren't watching as we're doing it. Just knock that little plug off, because I could have stopped doing this cutting probably a couple cuts ago. But nice, secure. Let's grab the wrench, tighten these down, and give the motor a quick test, and let's wrap this up. And that's it. We've got tow mirrors mounted. Put our cap back on, plugged in, make sure we're plugged in. Now we've got foldable, slidable, tow mirrors, and of course we don't have the blinkers. Hopefully I can figure out the forescan on the blinkers and the puddle light, but we do have our temperature sensor over here, so hopefully that works. Yeah, let's just make sure the mirror works and wrap this thing up. Well, it looks like that's it. We have a fully functioning power tow mirrors up top. Again, I'm gonna try to figure out the forescan for the blinkers. Looks like the temperature gauge is reading. It's about 62 degrees today, so that's about right. But thank you guys for sticking around. A little different for you normal people, but hopefully if you guys have found this, let me know. I've got a few things that I was actually gonna be doing to this F-150. I will tell you this, I have already installed. If you guys are interested, I will link in below. Mine did not come with the rubber or the plastic wheel well covers, so I ordered a set. I'm gonna order a link. The guys that basically have all this stuff, super cheap. That's the other side. I'm gonna link it all down below, but let me know if you guys are interested in what I'm going to be doing to the F-150. But thank you guys for sticking around, and I hope this was informational. I know you guys have been looking for tow mirror mods. Minor mods, but we now have tow mirrors on the brand new 2021 F-150, and thank you guys for sticking around. Do the normal. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button, smash the like button, and ring that bell notification. It'll give you notifications on some pretty cool content on motorcycles. If you guys like motorcycles, you're gonna love some of the motorcycle content. We have a Q60. If you guys don't know, check out the Super Beast. I've been telling you guys I'm gonna do a re-review on the Super Beast. It looks completely different, so stick around. But thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next video. Bye guys.